Mr. Speaker. And I guess first I'll start by congratulating the Liberal government on Bill 172. Absolutely. They have managed to get a bill to third reading that does absolutely nothing. But what I should also congratulate them on, this is a very unique Liberal bill because for once it also doesn't harm people in Ontario. So it does nothing, but it doesn't harm people. So that is a very unique set of circumstances for this Liberal government. Seldom do we get a bill that doesn't harm the people of Ontario. And reading through this bill, and as the member from Welland mentioned, it does absolutely nothing. There's no consumer protection here. There's nothing of any substance whatsoever in Bill 172. Scalpers will still be allowed to scalp. There's never been a conviction, never been a charge on that, and it's going to continue. And it's a meaningless bill. It reminds me much of my children when they were in school would often refer to busy work. The teachers would assign busy work just to keep the kids occupied and keep them quiet so the teacher may be able to do something else. And of course, busy work is meaningless work. It has no value. It's like counting the grains of sand on a beach or counting the number of whitecaps on the lake. Right? Something that takes up and preoccupies time but provides no benefit and no value. And that is what Bill 172 is. Counting the whitecaps, counting the grains of sand does nothing. But, once again, it doesn't harm the people of Ontario. So, what I find absolutely amazing with this Liberal government, here we have a bill put up by the Attorney General's office, the highest lawmaker and law protector, the guardian of our liberties is the Attorney General. And we have seen such injustice in places such as Caledonia or Deseronto. We have seen the failings of their justice system with the grocery store owner in Toronto who was charged for making a citizen's arrest. We have seen the Ponzi schemes and scams thrown out because there's not enough resources at the Attorney General's office. On and on and on, we see the failings of our justice system under the bailiwick of the Attorney General. And instead of addressing any of those substantive failings in our justice system, he brings out Bill 172. Has he put any effort into the G20 and the SIU investigations? Nothing. Has he put any effort into addressing the problems in Caledonia? Zero. Has he put any effort into addressing the backlogs in our court system? Nothing. But he brings out a bill that does nothing. Absolutely zero. He is consistent, very consistent, a consistent failure. Failing the people of Ontario. And the Attorney General is engaging in busy work. The Attorney General, though, however, is also wasting the time of the legislators in this Assembly, wasting the time of the people of this province, spending hours, countless hours, debating a bill that does nothing, that provides no protection, does nothing. Well, he gets to turn his back on the clear and utter failings of his ministry and our justice system in this province. It is an absolute travesty, Speaker, that this Attorney General views his responsibilities in such a cavalier and contemptible manner that he would bring out Bill 172, the Ticket Speculation Act, which does nothing, and refuses to even put any effort into the real failings of under his authority. But it's not only that. It's not just the Attorney General. What about the Premier? What about all the other members of Cabinet? Here, Ontario is facing the highest unemployment rate. We have suffocated and snuffed out hundreds of thousands of manufacturing jobs. Has the government brought in something to deal with that? No. Zero. Have they done anything but the high unemployment rate? Zero. Nothing. This Liberal government continues on its path of putting Ontario in a have-not position. And what is their solution? Their solution is Bill 172 that does nothing about scalping tickets. It is truly, if anybody wants to understand why there is apathy and complacency in this democracy, all they have to do is look at the results of the Liberal government in Ontario. That's all you have to do. Look at the busy work they're engaging in, and people understand. People understand. That's why we have 3/4 of the people have been fed up with this Liberal government. They understand they are completely out of touch. They're in a fantasy world that has no relation to reality. As a good member from Welland mentioned, Zorro is more real than the tangible, anything tangible in this Bill 172. Absolutely. The Liberals are indeed in the Alice in Wonderland world. Fantasia is where they are. But the consequences, and I'll say this to all the members who are still awake over on the other side, the real consequence is that you are diminishing yourselves by introducing legislation like this and supporting legislation like this. You are diminishing your own value to your constituents. You're diminishing your own value in your role in democracy by advocating busy work legislation. It should come to no surprise to the members of the Liberal benches when October 2011 rolls around that you're no longer occupying those benches. It would be no surprise. It would be no surprise to anybody. And it's time that this Assembly start engaging in substantive policy, substantive discussions on matters that will improve the standard of living and reduce the productivity gap in this province so that once again we can get on the right track of improving our standard of living instead of reducing and diminishing it. And with that, Mr. Speaker, Bill 172 does not deserve any more discussion or debate. Let it pass into the black hole of Liberal legislation that does nothing for the people of Ontario. Thank you.